Good evening, everybody. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker, and welcome to my live coverage. It is Wednesday, June 18th at 1:03 a.m. The reason why I'm live with you this evening, we have severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings approaching the Arkansas state line. They're still in Oklahoma at this time. Unfortunately, the storms are moving pretty quick, so I felt it was appropriate to go ahead and go live and start discussing this with you. Unfortunately, we have had confirmed tornadoes tonight in eastern Oklahoma. Immediate impacts within the next hour are likely in northwest Arkansas. We have severe thunderstorm watches in Benton, Washington, Madison, and Carroll County. And you can see the two tornado warnings here are in eastern Oklahoma still. They haven't quite made it to Arkansas, but the polygons are on the Arkansas state line. I'm sorry if I sound weird and I have a sore in my mouth that hurts really bad when I talk. So if I talk weird, that's why. But you can see the circulation on the south side here near Tahlequah. This is moving off to the east. Looks like we have another little book in there, but this is moving off to the east-southeast towards Westville, Peavine, and Stillwell, Oklahoma, and could eventually impact Washington County. And then we also have a north circulation that's going to impact Colcord and Jay, Oklahoma soon, and this could impact Benton County within the next 10 to 15 minutes. These storms are moving pretty quick. I can loop the radar for you and show you. Regardless of tornado potential, there's a high likelihood that we'll have strong wind gust in excess of 40, 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour in northwest Arkansas. You can see we have a classic bowing segment occurring right now. I mean, this is as classic as they come, bowing out, moving off to the east-southeast. And the wind speeds behind this line of storms could be strong. The winds near the Tulsa area tonight have been fairly stout. For now, it looks like northwest Arkansas is the only area of immediate concern. So if you don't live in northwest Arkansas, for now you're okay. That doesn't mean you won't observe rain and storms tonight. For those of you asking about areas outside of northwest Arkansas, I have a post on my Facebook that I posted 2 hours ago. It's my most updated post. And I've got plenty of information there referencing what you can expect tonight and into tomorrow. So hopefully that'll answer any questions that you have. If you're in northwest Arkansas, we have severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued for that area. All of Benton County, essentially. I'm sorry, my radar scope keeps doing that. It's very unreliable. Benton County. Oh, I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to reload my radar scope real quick, guys. Give me just a moment. As I was trying to say, all of Benton County is under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. A large chunk of Washington County is also included. It's unknown if the National Weather Service is going to maintain the tornado warnings into those two counties. But I can read you the text from the National Weather Service. It's likely a tornado possible tag on here. We could have embedded circulations that produce quick tornadoes. A severe thunderstorm is located along a line extending 3 miles southwest of Alfton down to Colcord and Cherokee Landing. It's moving east at 65 miles an hour, so very fast. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible with this. So if you live in northwest Arkansas, essentially anywhere in northwest Arkansas, Bella Vista, Gravette, Decatur, Gentry, Siloam, of course, Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, Lowell, Bentonville, down to Prairie Grove, West Fork, Elkins, there is potential that you could observe wind gusts over 60 miles an hour with these storms. All of the entire I-49 corridor. If you live south of northwest Arkansas near Fort Smith, along the I-40 corridor from Little Rock over to Fort Smith, you could observe storms out of this as they move east-southeast tonight. But for now, there's no immediate concerns. That could come later tonight, probably after 1:30, maybe near 2 a.m. There's no severe thunderstorm warnings in Sebastian or Crawford counties at this time, but we'll watch what the southern end of this does. But the most immediate concern are the storms moving into northwest Arkansas. We do have two tornado warnings near Jay, Oklahoma, and the other one near Tahlequah. These are moving east around 60 miles an hour. Certainly would like everyone in certainly want everyone in Washington and Benton County to take these storms serious. Like I said just a few moments ago, there's severe thunderstorm warnings. We don't have any tornado warnings in Arkansas right now. If you live in Gravette, Decatur, Gentry, or Siloam, the storms will be there within the next 10 to 15 minutes, and they could be strong. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible, along with very heavy rainfall and plenty of lightning. And then the same goes for parts of Washington County, areas around Prairie Grove, West Fork. Those storms could be fairly strong. There's been rotation that sparked tornado warnings down there as well, so we'll watch that. But there's no tornado warnings now for Washington or Benton County. We'll see if that changes in the next 10 to 15 minutes. For those of you asking about other parts of the state, I see the chat here on the right. I'm sorry I can't get to all your questions, but if you don't live in Northwest Arkansas, your odds for severe weather tonight are fairly low. That could change tomorrow. But for tonight, talking about technically Tuesday night, Wednesday early morning now, unless you live in Northwest, West Central Arkansas, that part of the state, the odds of you observing severe weather tonight are fairly low. That could change tomorrow afternoon. We'll discuss that accordingly, but for tonight, my most concerning focal point for the state is here in Northwest Arkansas. Pretty much the entire I-49 corridor from Mountainburg north to Bella Vista. I want to reiterate too, I generally only go live. Austin, there was a confirmed tornado on the north storm earlier, but I don't believe it's confirmed anymore. I want to reiterate that at this time, it's 1:10 a.m., June 18th. We do not have any tornado warnings in Arkansas. I generally only go live for tornado warnings, but these storms have a history of producing wind gusts well over 60 to near 70 miles an hour, so I felt like it was appropriate to go live and make sure everybody was aware of what was happening. We did have a confirmed tornado around 25 minutes ago with the storm that's near Jay now, as it was near Salina, Oklahoma. And it does look like there still could be some rotation in that storm. I'm going to switch over to the Fort Smith radar. I apologize if my stuff is lagging a little bit. I'm not really sure what the deal is. Those circulations, though, are approaching the Arkansas state line, so it'll be interesting to see what the National Weather Service does with both of these warnings as they move into Northwest Arkansas. I'm also watching the southern extension of these storms from Muskogee down to Henrietta, this part, as it moves off to the east-southeast towards the Fort Smith, Van Buren area. But for now, our immediate concerns are most certainly here in northwestern Arkansas. Austin, that is up to you. If you're in a site-built home, certainly a good place to be, and you don't want to be outside during this, but there's no tornado warning at this time for Gravette. That might change in a moment, but for now, you're not under a tornado warning. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning due to strong wind gust. You're running out of time, though, Austin. These storms are moving at near 60 miles an hour. There is a tornado possible tag on these severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't want to make that clear. Even though there's not a tornado warning, you can see it here. The National Weather Service has the text up that there is a tornado or tornadoes possible with these storms as they move into northwest Arkansas. And the reason why that is there is because, number one, we have tornado warnings off to the west, and these storms could produce embedded circulations. They happen fast. They're hard to spot. If you are outdoors camping, or you are not in any sort of site-built structure, now is the time to go somewhere that is safe. With wind gusts, well over 40, 50 miles an hour with these storms, near 60 miles an hour in spots, I would certainly recommend that you be inside somewhere, whether that's, I don't like for people being in their car, but if you're in a tent camping or if you're in a trailer camping, I certainly feel like your odds are better if you can go to a site-built structure of some kind. And that goes for the entire northwest Arkansas region, if you're in Beaver Lake, Devil's Den, wherever you might be. I don't know. But these storms, immediate concerns as they move into northwest Arkansas. It's 1:13 a.m. and they're going to be moving into the area rapidly as they move across the state line. The north tornado warning in eastern Oklahoma that was near Jay has been canceled. So good news for Benton County. We'll see if that changes. Chris, there's nothing in Mountain Home right now, brother. This is in northwest Arkansas. The south tornado warning west of Westville, Oklahoma, we'll have to keep an eye on that. That could have impacts for Prairie Grove, West Fork, and whatnot over the next 20 to 30 minutes. But the north tornado warning in eastern Oklahoma was canceled, so that's good news. We'll see if that stays the course here. But like I've been saying, numerous cities under severe thunderstorm warning. Just to kind of clear the air a little bit, I know I have people watching that don't live in northwest Arkansas. Folks, if you don't live in northwest Arkansas, you have nothing of immediate concern at this time. It's 1:14 a.m. right now. If you live in northwest Arkansas, anywhere in northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, Rogers, Bentonville, Springdale, Bella Vista, Prairie Grove, Siloam, I could go on and on. You have immediate concerns for severe weather, and that includes strong wind gusts, tornadoes possible. Certainly want you to stay inside. Don't be driving around. If you don't live in northwest Arkansas, if you live in central Arkansas, south Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, parts of north Arkansas, you have no immediate concerns at this time. But storms are likely to continue east-southeast tonight with time. I think the severe weather risk will go down quite a bit here over the next few hours. The concern for severe weather tonight is highest kind of in this part of the state. Outside of that part of the state, it drops dramatically. We'll have additional chances tomorrow, but not tonight, I don't think. I'm hoping these storms will kind of just morph into just general showers and storms. Christy, it's just one of those deals where this is very common for northwest Arkansas in late May, June, whereas in early the spring they weren't getting a whole lot. It was more eastern Arkansas, south Arkansas. These storms form in Oklahoma and Kansas, and they move east, southeast, and northwest Arkansas generally gets the brunt of it. That's just the way it is. Climatology at work here, unfortunately. Brianna, that's completely up to you. There's no immediate concerns in Van Buren, but there could be some concerns here over the next hour and a half or so as these storms continue east-southeast. It does look like we will have the potential for Fort Smith area, Van Buren, to get some of these storms on the south end. I do think that Fort Smith and Van Buren could see rain and storms tonight, yes. Don't like asking anyone to stay awake for this. Guys, we're all adults here. But if you are concerned about the weather and don't feel comfortable going to sleep, if you live in western or northwest Arkansas, I understand. But at this time, we don't have any active tornado warnings. We have severe thunderstorm warning. Abby, so Rogers was never under a tornado warning. You're just under a severe thunderstorm warning. See the yellow polygon here? That encapsulates northwest Arkansas. Christy, this has been a very active year. More active than normal. Like I said earlier, guys, I'm sorry if I sound kind of weird. I have a very bad sore in my mouth and it's hard to talk. I feel like I look like a goofball, but I'm trying my best. Don't make fun of me too much. So if you're just now joining, my name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. The reason why I'm live with you tonight is we have severe thunderstorms moving into northwest Arkansas, fairly populated area of our state. Of course, the entire I-49 corridor from Winslow north all the way to Bella Vista, Rogers, Springdale, Bentonville, Fayetteville, Gentry, Prairie Grove, under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time due to strong wind gust. Wind gust over 60 miles an hour will be possible with this, so I would really like for you to be inside. We do have a tornado warning in eastern Oklahoma. It does not include any Arkansas areas at this time. That could change soon, though. We have a strong, no, I shouldn't say strong. Sorry, that's me being tired at work. We have a circulation here southwest of Westville, Oklahoma that's moving east-southeast. This is between Tahlequah and Westville, so this will be moving into Washington County. So if you live in Prairie Grove, Lincoln, West Fork, that part of Washington County, we'll have to really watch that close. Benton County, I'm not ignoring you, but for this time, we don't have any tornado warnings. Just severe thunderstorm warnings. Hopefully it stays that way. Of course, I'm not trying to forget about anyone in Fort Smith or Van Buren or Alma. I'm watching the southern extension on these storms. That's moving to the east, southeast as well. So we'll still have to see what that does. We'll see how far south that extends down here over the next hour or so. Yes, James. Siloam is under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. Storms are moving into the area. Barbara, no, not at this time. Magazine and stuff. Boonville, Paris. Paris is down here. It's well south of the warnings at this time. We'll see if that changes though over the next hour and a half or so. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it. By the way, I ditched the pink cup. My wife bought me a black one for Father's Day. So, Rusty says, is this going to fizzle out before it makes it to Logan and Yale County? No, I do think that Logan and Yale County could see some rain and storms tonight. I think the severe weather risk just won't be as high. At least I hope. Yeah, I guess I need to rinse my mouth with salt water and it'll help. Yeah, this is a pretty impressive bow echo. It was even more impressive earlier when it was near Tulsa. You can really see it here when I loop the radar. It's kind of, I feel like broadened out a little bit, but still intense. And you can see looks like we still have a circulation here to watch between Westville, Peavine, and Christie. This area right here. So we'll see if this produces any tornadoes. No tornado warnings in Arkansas still. I kind of have a feeling that Tulsa might warn this out to the east here towards Prairie Grove, West Fork, and Lincoln. So I'm going to go ahead and just get my big map out for that. That way I can go over street names and all that good stuff. Go ahead and just have that up. So, oh, sorry guys. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit here region-wide so everybody kind of has an idea of what we're doing. Yeah, so I see the polygons are east. This is an east-southeast movement. It's more easterly, it seems like, but certainly tracking off to the east right now. Scott, nothing in Russellville at this time, brother. Maybe later tonight. Severe weather risk isn't real high, but it's low. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jeff, I'm pretty tired of it, buddy. I'm ready to have a week without it. Sarah, that's up to you. The severe weather risk isn't real high in Dardanelle, but that doesn't mean you won't have rain or storms tonight. I'm going to pull up the latest information for the National Weather Service, guys, if you'll give me just a moment. We do have a new tornado warning. That does include Washington County, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And it is going to be for Prairie Grove, West Fork, Winslow, Lincoln. So, okay, I see the mesoscale discussion. Folks, if you live in Prairie Grove, if you live in Summers, if you live in Dutch Mills, if you live in Evansville, Morrow, Cane Hill, Hubbard, Hawkeye, Skylight, Strickler, if you live in the city of West Fork, Picken Corner, Hawkeye, I've already said this a couple of times, but Lincoln and Prairie Grove, of course, those are well-populated areas in part of Washington County. Greenland, this does not include the city of Fayetteville. Okay, if the sirens are going off in Fayetteville, I know it's close, but technically a large chunk of the city of Fayetteville is not included in this warning. It's south of you for the circulation right here near Christie, Oklahoma. This is moving off to the east. For some reason, if you know somebody who could be traveling down I-49 tonight, whether they're driving to Fayetteville to go to work or Rogers, or they've got to go to Fort Smith or whatever. I know it's late. You might give them a call and let them know what they're driving into. This could be very dangerous, especially at night. These storms are moving fast. I can read the text with you. This is a radar indicated circulation, so I don't have any confirmation of a tornado occurring. The National Weather Service in Tulsa issued this warning. they're stating that a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Barron. So that's in Oklahoma, moving east at 50 miles an hour. So, folks, that's moving pretty quick. All right. That's a pretty quick moving storm. And it's moving off to the east. So if you live in Lincoln, Prairie Grove, West Fork, Greenland, your time's running out. You need to be sheltered pretty quick. Nobody should be outdoors. You're not going to see the tornado. Don't waste your time. It's moving too quick. There's too much rain wrapped into it. I promise. If you do see it, you're really lucky, but I wouldn't even try. This is the only tornado warning at 1:20 a.m. or 1:23 a.m. I'm sorry, in the entire state of Arkansas. So if you're watching this and you don't live in Washington County, you're not under a tornado warning. The circulation itself has not crossed into Arkansas yet, but it's about to. So. So just to kind of reiterate why I'm live and what we're discussing here, folks, if you're just now joining, if you're just now getting the warnings. First of all, my name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. We have a tornado warning for Washington County, and this includes the I-49 corridor from Winslow up through West Fork, Greenland. It does not include the city of Fayetteville at this time. It includes the city of Lincoln, Prairie Grove, several communities, of course, as well. It includes the communities of Dutch Mills, Evansville, Strickler, Onda, Hubbard, Hawkeye, Pitkin Corner, Brentwood, Winslow, Banyard, Winfrey, Strickler, Appleby. It does include, I think it includes Farmington as well. I don't know if my radar scope populate. No, it doesn't include Farmington. I'm sorry. It does not include the city of Farmington, but it does include areas south of there, Greenland. We discussed that. Highway 71 all the way down through Pitkin Corner to Winslow. So it should be, this is moving east around 50 miles an hour. It should be to the 49 corridor within the next 30 minutes at the latest. It's moving pretty quick. It's going to be in Lincoln within the next 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. Prairie Grove, next 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just spitballing here. Obviously, these things can, their forward speed can change a little bit, but it's moving pretty quick, folks. This last scan, this is at 123. I would venture to say that this is likely crossing the Arkansas state line immediately. The circulation doesn't look as strong as it did earlier. I felt like earlier it looked a little bit more robust. So they're near Eldon and Christie, Oklahoma. So that's good news. Of course, still need to respect it, folks. There's no reason to overlook it. I do want you to know, of course, if you live in Benton County, I'm not trying to ignore you. We have a tornado warning, of course, in Washington County. It's getting a lot of attention. If you live in Benton County, if you live in Bella Vista, Rogers, of course, if you're in Decatur, Gentry, or Gravette, Siloam, it's storming like crazy right now. Rogers, Lowell, and Springdale, you're up next. Bentonville and Bella Vista is the same. Those storms are going to continue off to the east. Fayetteville, Springdale, Johnson. I know you're not under a tornado warning. The same goes for Elkins. But you're going to observe thunderstorms in the next 30 minutes or so. And then, of course, the reason why we're live here tonight is the tornado warning in southern Washington County. We'll be impacting Lincoln soon, eventually Prairie Grove, West Fork, and Winslow. Yes, Connor, certainly need to be sheltered due to the tornado warning. I can't see Connor's profile, but I'm pretty sure that's my cousin Connor. Y'all be safe. I appreciate you watching. Michaela, if you're in Van Buren, there's no warnings right now, but there is storms off to the northwest that we'll have to watch. Same goes for Fort Smith, Alma, Mountain Berg, Cedarville. So we'll watch that closely. I don't see, looking at the debris tracker, I don't see anything that indicates that this is on the ground at this time. Obviously, that can change pretty quick. Looking at velocity, there's certainly something there. Like I said earlier, the circulation was stronger near Eldon and Christie, Oklahoma. It looks like it's broadened out a little bit. I would venture to say that these storms are going through a weakening trend, which was expected. I felt like once they crossed the Arkansas state line tonight, they would go through a weakening trend. That does not mean that they won't be strong or that they can't produce tornado warnings or whatever, strong winds. I'm just saying, compared to earlier tonight when they were near Tulsa, they don't seem to be as strong, so that's a good thing. Hopefully we continue that weakening trend, but for now we do have a tornado warning that we need to certainly pay close attention to. There might be some small hail in these storms, folks, strong winds. I don't have any confirmation of this tornado being on the ground right now. It just looks like a radar-indicated tornado warning, which is, that seems pretty realistic given the velocity signature on it. But, folks, these things can spin up quick. So, if you don't live in Northwest Arkansas, you're not, first of all, if you don't live in Northwest Arkansas, you're not under a severe thunderstorm watch and you don't have any tornado warnings. But your severe weather risk tonight is fairly low. I think the only exception to that is maybe the Fort Smith area, Alma, Van Buren, maybe over to Ozark and Clarksville, north to Berryville, Ponca. But outside of that little hub, this little circle, we'll just say from here, it's just a rough draw. If you don't live in that part of the state, your severe weather risk tonight is fairly low. So, the tornado warning is still ongoing. I'm getting a lot of questions. If you're in Lincoln, folks, if you're in Lincoln, you should be sheltered. Should have been sheltered about 10 minutes ago. This is getting close to you. Prairie Grove is the same thing. You're running out of time. West Fork, you still have some time, but these storms are moving pretty quick. They're moving east around 50. So Winslow, West Fork, Greenland, you should be sheltered. You can see the red color here. This is the polygon. This is where the warning is applicable to. So if you live in Fayetteville, Johnson, or Springdale, you're not under a tornado warning. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. But southern Washington County is under a tornado warning, along with Benton County. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And those are the only warning polygons at this time in the entire state of Arkansas. Abby, the storms are going to be in Rogers for a little while. Storms are moving in soon. It's going to be kind of a noisy little bit here for your area. Brooklyn, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Benton County. All of Benton County is under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's for strong wind gust over 60 miles an hour. Huntsville is not under a warning, Brantley, but you could be soon as these storms continue off to the east towards you. Amber, you're in Prairie Grove. Need to be sheltered in Prairie Grove. You're under a tornado warning. Hopefully that gets canceled soon, but for now it's still valid. Kira's in Hackett, Arkansas, which is in South Sebastian. There's nothing in Hackett at this time, nothing imminent, but maybe some stronger storms later tonight in the next couple of hours. Yeah, Courtney, we can look at the rotation. I just looked at it a moment ago, and there's not a whole lot there, if I'm being honest. I always like to be honest with you guys, and I don't see a whole lot here, folks. I don't see any tight couplets. Perhaps maybe something a little bit here near Lincoln. Certainly, if you're in Lincoln, I want you to be sheltered. That don't take my words for granted, but I don't see anything of imminent crazy concerns on our circulation moving into Washington County. This looks like more of a strong wind concern rather than tornadoes, but this circulation was stronger while it was in Oklahoma, which is why the tornado warning was issued. I would prefer you heed the National Weather Service warning and take cover until the warning has passed you. Philip says, I'm not getting any tornado alerts. I'm on 15th in Fayetteville. Yeah, you're not under a tornado warning in Fayetteville, so won't be getting any tornado alerts there. And Dalen's in Greenwood. Yeah, so storms are likely over the next hour or two. In Greenwood, Fort Smith, it might skirt you to the north and towards Fort Smith, Alma area if you're in Greenwood, South Sebastian, but can't rule it out tonight. Yes, Robert, you're under a tornado warning in Prairie Grove. Folks, Prairie Grove is right here. So if you live in Prairie Grove, West Fork, Winslow, Lincoln's over here, you should be sheltered. You're under a tornado warning. Erica's in Hiwassee. That's up in northern Minton County. You're not under a tornado warning. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Those storms are moving through now. Certainly need to stay inside. The wind is likely pretty strong moving into northwest Arkansas. At least it was earlier. It might have went down a little bit. It's kind of hard to get a good look off that, but I can assure you that these storms have produced some strong winds tonight. Thomas, I think that was earlier. I don't think that's as relevant right now as it was earlier. Unless they're seeing something I'm not. They might also have a storm chaser looking at that. I don't know if they have people that storm chase for them. The tornado warning has been canceled for parts of eastern Oklahoma. I'm not sure what county that is. Westville, Peavine, I don't. But the warning is still valid for Washington County. Summer, I think we just... nothing imminent in Van Buren right now. But we'll watch that stuff to the southwest of our tornado warning soon. I see. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate it. That's all right, Jordan. I don't mind. People are just curious, especially when it's stressful. Yes, Brooke, I do. I think this is the worst of it for the overnight part in northwest Arkansas. Once this moves through, I mean, you guys, you can see this is a pretty big blob of nasty here that's got to move through the region. This is going to continue moving east-southeast into Arkansas over the next several hours. This part of the state is where the highest severe weather risk is. You know, we're kind of looking at it now. So it's 1:30 a.m. I think by 4 or 5 a.m. we're likely done with severe weather and just dealing with rain and storms moving through. I think the worst of it will be over in northwest Arkansas over the next hour and a half or so. Folks, I know that, you know, if you live down by Fort Smith or Van Buren or Greenwood or Alma, Cedarville, I'm watching this stuff to the northwest. We'll just see what it does when it moves in. But for now, the most imminent concern is in northwest Arkansas with our tornado warning in Washington County. We can look at the velocity again, kind of see what the circulation looks like. Switch over to the Tulsa radar and see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not seeing a whole lot with this. I've been wrong before. I mean, certainly want everyone to heed the warning from the National Weather Service. It expires in 9 minutes. And I'm eager to see what the National Weather Service does with this as it moves towards the I-49 corridor. So West Fork, Winslow, it's going to be in Prairie Grove soon. But I'm hoping that we can get this warning canceled as it moves off to the east. Sheila, Jacksonville's in central Arkansas. This is of no relevance to Jacksonville at this time. Maybe tomorrow morning storms make it that way, but very, very low severe weather risk. Lavender, I'm not sure what you're talking about. So for those of you who are just now joining, I've been live now for quite a while. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. I'm live because we have severe weather warnings in northwest Arkansas. That includes Benton County, Washington County, Bentonville, Rogers, Fayetteville, Springdale. We have tornado warning in southern Washington County. That includes Winslow, West Fork, Prairie Grove, Lincoln, Greenland. That's the red polygon. The yellow polygon encapsulates the severe thunderstorm warning. This is the only warnings in the state of Arkansas. So if you live in Winslow, if you live in West Fork, Greenland, Lincoln, Prairie Grove, does not include Elkins at this time, you are under a tornado warning and you should be sheltered. This does not include the city of Fayetteville, Johnson, or Springdale. Those areas are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Is the video buffering for you guys? Is the broadcast buffering pretty bad? Please let me know in the comments if it is or not. I don't usually ever have that problem. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. Scott, it looks like those storms are weakening some, so that kind of matches with what your report just gave. Tony, you're under a tornado warning in Lincoln. I don't have any confirmed reports of a tornado, though, in Lincoln. Just a warning, just a tornado warning at this time. No buffering, thank you. Somebody commented and said it was buffering, but it looks like my broadcast is solid on my end, so I was just making sure. I was about to get upset. I've spent a lot of time trying to perfect this whole broadcast thing. Thank you guys. I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So Yeah, Denise, that drives me crazy. I don't know why my voice does that. It lags sometimes. Can you give us any good news? Yes. I do think that these storms will likely weaken with time as they move off to the east. I've already noticed a weakening trend just being live over the last hour. So that's some good news with this. It's not going to last all night through the entire state. That doesn't mean that you won't observe rain and storms tonight. There's a good chunk of you likely will until this kind of breaks apart into the morning hours. But for now, I like our trends. This looks like it's going through weakening trends, which is a positive. The worst of it is certainly passing Lincoln now and is moving towards Prairie Grove, West Fork, and Greenland. I really would encourage anyone, if you're about to drive down 49 in this area, not to let the storm pass, the leading edge pass before you try to drive, because it could be pretty dangerous. The worst of it is passing through Decatur, Gentry, and Gravette now, Bella Vista, moving into Little Flock, Rogers, Lowell, Springdale. Johnson, and of course eventually Fayetteville will be soon. And then Prairie Grove, West Fork, Winslow, and Greenland are all under a tornado warning. Angel, it could, yes, later tonight, but I would expect the severe weather risk to be pretty low in Clarksville. Megan says, where's your famous pink cup? My wife bought me a black cup for Father's Day, so I had to retire her pink cup. I'm glad somebody noticed. Strong winds are likely with this, guys. I will say that I think the wind speeds have went down some since I came on live earlier. I've had a couple of reports from Rogers and Bentonville that the winds weren't too bad, but it was noisy. That kind of matches with what I'm seeing here. It does look like the south end of these storms near Shakota, Gore, this branch down here is still pretty strong. That's going to move off to the east towards the Fort Smith area, Van Buren, Alma, so we'll watch that. Emily, there's no tornado warning in Stillwell. It's past you to the east. I don't know why the sirens are still going there. Ashley, we could have more severe weather tomorrow, so. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Thaddeus, Bella Vista is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but the worst of the storm is working through now, and it should be moved through soon. Travis said he just got a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust in Bentonville. Thank you for the report. I've got a spammer in my comments. I don't have a moderator on here, so I'm going to try to block that real quick so it doesn't bother everybody. So just to give everybody a little bit of a synopsis or a rundown on what we're dealing with, we have severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado warning in northwest Arkansas. It's 1:41 a.m. Wednesday, June 18th. Folks, if you don't live in northwest Arkansas, you're not dealing with much right now. And you probably won't deal with much tonight. I'm not saying you won't have rain or storms, but the severe weather risk doesn't look as high unless you live kind of in this corridor of the state. This seems to be the most realistic area to observe some strong to severe thunderstorms. This is going to move, though. You can see, I'm going to zoom out even further. Folks, you can see this entire blob is going to continue off to the east-southeast with time. So there's a good chance this is going to continue into the state through the next several hours and into the morning hours of Wednesday. And then we'll have additional chances tomorrow. Folks, we still have a tornado warning up for southern Washington County. I'm not seeing a whole lot of craziness with this, but the warning is still up. It looks like there's still some structure to this storm. As it passes through now Prairie Grove, it's moving towards Greenland and West Fork. So we're going to have to watch that real close. The warning that we've been talking about, the tornado warning, expires in 2 minutes. So we'll see if they continue that. I don't think they will. but I've been wrong before, so we'll see. Obviously, if the National Weather Service continues that tornado warning, we will cover it accordingly. I'm sorry about the spammer in the comments, guys. James Williams, it's a robot. Please don't respond to any of that. I can't block it. I don't know. Facebook is trash sometimes. We do have, though, I know I've said it 100 times, but people are joining in and out of the live stream. The only warnings that we have in the state right now are for Benton and Washington County. Severe thunderstorm warnings for both counties, and then a tornado warning here for the I-49 corridor. This warning, the tornado warning, expires in just a couple of minutes. 1 minute, actually. And the severe thunderstorm warning also expires in 1 minute. So it will be interesting to see if the National Weather Service continues either warning. Hopefully they don't. But it's pretty windy in northwest Arkansas right now. I'm getting reports from people of stronger wind gusts moving through the region, which sounds about right given the history these storms have tonight of producing strong winds. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate your trust. I'm glad you guys are safe. Oh, thanks, Connor. I appreciate it. Folks, I'm watching too. I don't want anyone in the Fort Smith area to think that I'm not covering you. But right now, we don't have any immediate concerns, as in like the next 5 to 10 minutes. But we do have storms to the west that I'm watching here. This is going to continue off into the region here with time. So we'll see what happens with that. I think stronger winds are the most concern with that. But there's no severe thunderstorm warnings off to our west either, which makes me think that it's just going to be noisy when it moves in. Unfortunately, it's late too. But our warnings here in northwest Arkansas have been canceled. I kind of figured that would happen. So we are, it's 1:40 a.m. and we currently have no severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings at this time. Sorry, but I'm not, I saw the comment about the circulation. I'm not seeing it ramping back up. It just looks like, this looks like a big wind bag to me. That's what we call it in the weather world. When you have a big, just nasty complex of storms like this, folks, it's moving off to the east-southeast. It just looks like a bunch of wind, rain, and thunder. Of course, lightning associated with that. But as of 1:43 a.m., I can zoom out statewide. We have no severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings in the entire state of Arkansas. Folks, I want to reiterate, that doesn't mean that we will not have storms tonight. Sorry, I mean hit my mic. That doesn't mean that you won't observe storms tonight. But given how things have trended, how these storms have trended, I think it's safe to say that they are going downhill a little bit, which is good. Hopefully we maintain that trend, and I think we will as we continue into the night hours. These storms are starting to lose some steam. I do expect this complex to fade into the night and into the morning hours and break up completely. And we will likely have re-triggering thunderstorm development tomorrow afternoon, probably after lunch. That doesn't mean we couldn't have some scattered activity before, but I think the biggest concern tomorrow will be tomorrow afternoon. Folks, if you live in northwest Arkansas, if you live in Rogers or Bella Vista or Bentonville, if you live in Fayetteville, Springdale, Prairie Grove, there's no warnings active right now, but that doesn't mean it won't be noisy when this moves in. The same goes for Fort Smith, Alma, Van Buren, Mountainburg. I wish I could give you the all clear and say there's nothing's going to happen, but these storms are going to be moving in soon. They're probably going to be pretty noisy, but at this time we don't have any warnings. So folks, I don't really just stay live for just generic thunderstorms. I would literally be live every day all the time. But I do want everyone to understand that these storms are going to continue off to the east-southeast. And if you live in this part of the state, I know I've kind of circled a few areas tonight, there is an inherent severe weather risk, but I think it's starting to really drop. I felt like the biggest concern for severe weather tonight was going to be in Benton and Washington counties, Madison, Carroll counties. And that's what we're dealing with now. So, Abby, it's going to be a minute. I mean, rain and storms are going to linger for a while. It's definitely going to be longer than an hour. There's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of activity back here yet to push through northwest Arkansas. It doesn't mean it's going to be severe, but it might be noisy. Thank you, Emily, for the report. Yeah, Westville's good to go now. Rex says, really thankful for how you handle these streams. Absolutely. Somebody made a comment earlier about yelling. Thank you for not yelling. No problem. I don't know who said that, but I appreciate it. Definitely don't want to be doing any yelling on the stream. So. Yeah. Jacqueline, I'm tired of being live in the middle of the night. I'm ready to go to sleep. Aubrey, I think you're going to be okay going to bed. Olivia, that's just the forward motion. It's kind of deceiving, but the actual complex itself is tracking east-southeast. If you watch near Fort Smith, you can kind of see that here as it moves off to the east-southeast. Zach, I'm not expecting much in Greenbrier, brother. That's a long ways from these storms, and they're weakening pretty fast. Doesn't mean you won't have any rain or storms late into the morning, but yes, Abby, I think you're fine to go to bed in Rogers. Might be noisy, but yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Folks, I don't really like asking anyone to stay up all night anyways, but I think at this point, if you're wanting to go to bed, I think you're going to be okay. That doesn't mean it might not get noisy later. But at this time, I think there's no warnings that are active at all. So I'm not saying that severe weather can happen, but for now, hopefully we've kind of evaded more tornado issues. It looks like, to me, these storms look like they're starting to gust out. You can see this gust front being pushed out here. If you watch the radar with me, you can see it being pushed out here. See the line? That's usually a pretty good indicator that storms are more outflow dominant and not as conducive to produce tornadoes. So that's a good sign. That doesn't mean that there won't be some strong wind gusts with them. And of course, we have to treat that seriously as well. Stillwell's good to go. Thank you, Olivia, for the report. I'm glad you guys are safe. Absolutely, Abby. Patricia, I'm not sure why you can't see the comments. They're on there. Everything's public. It's storming in Fayetteville now, Hunter. Hunter Van Fleet. It's storming there now, but we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Somebody just commented and said there's a ton of damage by X and A. These winds meant business moving through, for sure. I'm trying to see if I have any damage reports on Twitter, but I don't, which is kind of unusual. I feel like we had damage. James, Little Rock, you guys could get some rain and storms late into early tomorrow morning, but the severe weather risk is very low at this time. I think that there will be additional chances, though, tomorrow in central Arkansas for stronger storms, likely after the afternoon hours, or after the lunch hour. Demarius, I think you guys are going to be okay in Bentonville. Jay, it's pretty windy there now. And that could continue for a while, but I think the worst of it, the leading edge, significant wind gusts are likely waning some. There are no active warnings, Krista. So if you're in Lincoln, I think you're okay. I know, Megan, I think that was due to the storm. Yeah, it seems like we had severe thunderstorm warnings that were pushing through, strong wind gust. Yeah, I've had a few comments now about XNA damage. I'm interested if you guys see any photos or anything of the XNA damage, send it to me on Facebook or Twitter. People comment power out in P Ridge. Melissa, there's no tornado warnings in Farmington. There's no severe thunderstorm warnings either. It's just a strong storm moving through. I don't think you necessarily need to be sheltered, but definitely would recommend staying inside. Sarah, it's going to be in the next hour or so, hour and a half, 2 hours or so for Harrison, if it makes it in there, and it should. Folks, a lot of people asking me if you're in the clear. Folks, there's no warnings right now. There's no tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, we have thunderstorms moving in to northwest and western Arkansas, but we don't have any warnings or anything like that. So I do want to look at something while I'm live with you guys. No, it's not loaded yet. Okay. So to me, the storms that are moving through northwest Arkansas now, Springdale, Johnson, down to Fayetteville, very noisy. But these storms down to the southwest are noisy too. From Brushy, Cherry Tree down to Eufaula, Porham, Warner. And this is moving into west central Arkansas, probably, the Fort Smith area, Van Buren, Alma soon. So just a heads up, it's probably going to get pretty noisy here over the next little bit. But I'm going to leave you guys with this before I hop off. First of all, if we have more tornado warnings tonight, life-threatening storms, I will be live with you again. I'll hop back on with you. And I'll be live. But as of this time, we don't have any warnings at all. And my anticipation is that these storms are going to continue east-southeast and maintain a weakening trend into the late night hours and into Wednesday morning. Obviously, things can change, but I like that trend, and I'm seeing it visually on radar. If you guys are wanting to go to sleep, I understand. I think you're going to be fine. If you live east of the storms, so let's just say you live in Clarksville. I'll use this as an example. I cannot guarantee you that you will have zero severe weather, but I think it's a low chance right now. So if you want to go to bed, you hear thunder later, you're woken up by it, it's likely just thunderstorms moving into the area. These thunderstorms could impact a large part of the state overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. The highest risk for severe weather tonight was in northwest Arkansas, which is exactly what we observed. Strong storms, tornado warnings, strong wind gust. So everything has kind of worked out how I anticipated it. Hopefully that continues, and I do anticipate a weakening trend. I'm going to hop off here, go sit in my lazy chair, try to relax a little bit, keep an eye on radar for another hour or so, and then I'll probably try to get some sleep so I can be rested for tomorrow, because unfortunately I think we could have more strong storms tomorrow, so I have to work accordingly tomorrow. And then we will likely flip into a less active pattern soon with plenty of warm air and dry conditions as we go into the weekend. Thank you, Jesus. So, really appreciate Arkansas Online Lawyer for sponsoring this live feed, along with 1312 Cleaning and Restoration. They're two great companies local to Western Arkansas. I know that all of my sponsors have been really good to me. This spring, I've been very busy. So, guys, I'll hop back on. If we have any tornado warnings, I'll get back on and we'll cover it together. Otherwise, I'll have information posted on my Facebook, my Twitter, keeping you guys up to date. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will